Ren'Py. In this video I'm going to cover scenes and showing, both of which have to do with images. So returning here to the question, one of two examples that come with a Ren'Py 7 launcher. Playing the question, we see it starts with an image in the background and text in the foreground. Well, this background is actually a scene, or it is an image used as a scene. So let's stop looking at this and look at the code behind it. So as we see here, I've got the script file pulled up for the question, and in line 13 we see scene BG space lecture hall. Well, the BG stands for background in this case, and is shorthand for understanding how our images are organized as backgrounds and then the background lecture hall. Also using the scene keyword here, which means, and it tells Ren'Py to do this, show it in the background. Show it as the scene. So we're looking at the scene, background, lecture hall. We're over here on the left-hand side of the project layout. Within our images folder, we see background lecture hall, or BG lecture hall. Written the same way. So scene, and then the name of the file. And so we're showing this file, as we saw in the example, as the background, or in this case, the scene. So we're telling Ren'Py, using the scene keyword, find this image named background space lecture hall in our images folder, and then show it as a background using the scene keyword. So going forward, we now see a different use of images here. We're still using scene, but now we're also using show. Let's go look at that in code. Coming back to this, we see as we transitioned, line 13 was a scene, background lecture hall. Line 23 was another scene, background uni, which we saw over here, background uni. Line 27 is a little different. This is Sylvie green normal. But we see the same thing over here, Sylvie green normal. Well, this was the image right here. But in this case, it was using the show keyword. Using the scene keyword, we can change the background image. From lecture hall on line 13 to uni on line 23. Using the show keyword, however, we're showing an image. In this case, we're using the same thing, Sylvie green and normal, and we look for that file. And it showed that file as a default in the middle of the screen. It's a very default, show an image, placed in the middle of the screen. So the two differences here between the scene and the show is again returning to this idea of backgrounds being part of scenes or establishing context for a reader or player, and show having to do more with images, show a character in this case. So we're establishing scenes using the scene keyword, changing background images, using the show keyword to show an image in the middle. In both cases, we're using the names of the files after the keyword. Again, with scene in line 13 here, scene with line 23, show with line 27. Let's scroll down more, line 50, 62, 72, 82, 88, 117, 132, 142, 158, and onwards across this file. Many different cases of these, though, are using different names of these files. Notice over here, again, within our images, we have a background club, background lecture hall, background meadow, background uni. In each case, we're using BG as a shorthand to help us understand. For Ren'Py, it really doesn't matter what you name files, as long as you reference them as the same thing within the code. So we could name this something else, and then when we reference it, just change that name as well. But we're using BG here, or this example is anyway, to help us understand these are all backgrounds. These are all for use with the scene keyword. All of the Sylvie files, blue giggle, blue normal, blue smile, blue surprised, green giggle, green normal, green smile, and green surprised, used in the same way. In this case, adding adjectives, blue or green, as well as their actions, giggle, normal, smile, surprised, giggle, normal, smile, surprise for both the blues and the greens, to help us organize these files. One approach then when using these files with scene and show is to establish the character doing it, in this case Sylvie, blue or green as our types of display. She's wearing blue here. she's wearing green here, as well as her actions in these cases, giggling, normal, smiling, or surprised, to help us organize these files. But again, it really doesn't matter. What matters is how we reference them. So as long as how we reference them, in this case line 13 was seen, match the name of the files, then that's fine, and Ren'Py really doesn't care. But we can use, following this example's naming scheme, to establish BG as background, the characters starting with, what they're wearing, and their actions, all to help us organize these files. But again, returning to this idea of presenting images in two different ways. Scene, establishing a background, changing backgrounds, as we saw in the example, and showing an image in the middle of the screen, showing the character that's saying that dialogue. Thanks for watching.